moderation helps the positive choose who set a lazy behind people, harder for people to add moderation. Add moderators to your view. Okay. Cool. What's up? What's up? Driving home. What time is it? 5:21. Rush hour. I'm gonna hit traffic. Whoops. Well, what are we gonna talk about? Criminal defense, personal injury. What's the topic? What's the question? Who's got a question? Don't see anyone in yet, so I'm talking to myself. What's up? What's up? We got one person in the chat. What can I do for you? You want to talk about criminal defense? You want to talk about personal injury? You want to talk about whatever you want to talk about? Let's chat. I got a 35-minute drive or so figured I'd go on and talk a little criminal defense, a little personal injury, and see where it goes. How you guys doing? Coming down Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. I know I'm going to hit traffic. I never leave at 5:22. Never leave. But got to do what you got to do. The wife called and said, hey, can you meet me to eat? So I'm meeting her and the in-laws to eat. You guys have any questions about personal injury or criminal defense? Hit me one. Hit me with something. I can tell a story about almost any kind of criminal charge, personal injury. I'm looking at the guy next to me. I wish I could show you. Big dude, and what does he got? A little Toyota Camry. Eating a sandwich and drinking the Diet Coke. I got my Canada Dry, but I wish I had a sandwich. Doesn't food make you happy? Food makes me happy. When a client brings food to the office, I gotta tell you, like, I get so friggin' happy. I had one case years ago when the client's mom she was from Italy, and she would make like authentic Italian. We're not talking ragu. We're not talking Publix. Like I don't know where she'd get the ingredients, but like, you know, in Italy, right? Like the food was outstanding. We had an office full of people. I guess it was, my dad worked for me at the time. I had another attorney. I had an assistant. Then the other guys that I shared office space with, Phil Mendito and Wayne Corey, they had staff, and we'd all get together every day and have a nice lunch. And, you know, it was nice, the camaraderie. And this woman, I mean, several times, she would just show up. She would call me about 10:30, and she's like, don't order anything, but with the Italian accent. And she's like, I'm bringing everything. I mean, from the bread to the oil to like so fantastic. So you think I got an outstanding result for her son? Yeah, you can think of me as like Homer Simpson, and I'm just following the cookies, you know? So good stuff. Food always brings a smile. It does at the Foley House anyway. So I don't know if I could see any questions or topics. Let's see. I don't know. Well, I got to drive now. So criminal defense got lucky this week, and I had a couple of domestic violence charges dismissed. Clients are actually three of them. One on Friday of last week, and what's today? Wednesday, and one on Monday and one on Tuesday. So clients were extremely happy. I hope that they get the guidance, the counseling, that they reunite with the loved ones. Domestic violence cases are tough, you know. I have a job to do, and my job is to defend my client to the best of my ability. But I also see difficulties, right? Some people use weapons. Some people are like physically battering the other person. And it's scary stuff, you know. I've had a few legit domestic violence cases, and, you know, again, not politically correct. You know, there's always two sides to a story, and people deserve a defense. So I end up handling a lot of domestic violence cases. Most of the time, and I talk about this, most of the time it's the victim that's hiring me, right? So, I mean, that just happens so often. But I literally think, I pray that these people are okay, right? That, you know, the men, the women that hire me, that they're okay. I don't want to see this stuff continue, right? I don't want to be the guy I don't want to be the attorney that's representing the same defendant with, you know, 5, even 2. I don't want to see a second domestic violence case. That reminds me. Come on. What are we doing? Hang on, we're buffering here. Come on, let the ambulance go. All right. So I'm in court the other day on something, and a prosecutor says to me, she's like, remember Mr. Smith? And of course I remember Mr. Smith, because Mr. Smith was scary. Mr. Smith, one day he got all like, you know, uppity with my receptionist, and I'm coming down there and I'll whoop his ass. And she's like, hey, I don't know, some guy's coming down to say he's gonna whoop your ass. And I was like, what's his name? And I'm like, I'm bigger than he is. Hopefully he doesn't have a gun. And the guy was just, I mean, off the chain, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, off the chain. His temper, I had never encountered someone who was that volatile, who was that aggressive. And, you know, him and his significant other were having all kinds of problems. And, you know, he got arrested for domestic violence. And it took me months. Like, she called me back and forth with the state. The discovery was not good. I think he had a resisting with violence because the officers were there and he turned his back, and I don't know, they charged him with some more charges. So I finally, after, I don't know, like 6 months, and I'm telling you, this guy is like difficult. This is the guy that wants the discount. Like, I'm a hard-working stiff, and I give him the discount. And then every time he's like, oh, I never negotiated with, like, just always throwing money in my face. It was just like a difficult person. I was like, hey, man, you just got to do, at the end of it, after 6 months, I convinced the state and the victim agreed to put him in a diversion, right? So a diversion is his diversion, which was a plea impasse. And I don't like plea impasses, but you plead guilty. They hold the case for like 6 months to a year. You take anger management, you do community service hours, right? You jump through the hoops, right? You act real nice to your significant other. And you kind of basically get treatment. You get counseling, and you try to be a better person and not, not hit anyone, not put your hands on anyone. So every once in a while, this guy would call me, and he was always like most of the time he was in a bad mood, right? So he calls me one day, and like I talk to him, and he's like, look, I know you believe in God, and like I need someone to pray for me, and I do. I'm really trying to help the guy out, but it was like Jekyll and Hyde. One day he's like, hey, Foley, oh, you're a great attorney, thanks so much. The next day he's like, what have you done for me? You know, the public defender could have done more. And maybe they could, I don't know. I don't compare myself to the PD or any other attorney. And we have our little meeting right before the year is up, and I go, you good? Everything, he sent me all the paperwork. I'm thinking we're good. I call the state. I can't get in touch with the state, and I end up, we go to court, and I'm expecting the case to be dismissed. They're going to announce I'm going to vacate the guilty plea, right? I'm going to vacate the guilty plea, and then the state's going to make an announcement, and then the case gets dismissed, right? Standard plea impasse. If you understand criminal law, you plead guilty, you pass time, you do the things. If you do everything right, the case gets dismissed. You vacate it, dismiss. All right. So we get there, and I walk over to the prosecutor. Hey, Sue, I got Mr. Smith's case. What's up? Ultra testosterone. So I say, hey, prosecutor, he's got everything done. We're ready to go, right? We're gonna vacate and dismiss. And she goes, yeah, can we talk for a second? I go, talk? What do you mean? She goes, listen, I just got word like yesterday that this guy's going to be arrested again, that the police are looking for him, that some paperwork's coming to our office. So I can't, no, I can't agree to vacate because I think that he's about to get arrested because he wasn't nonviolent. He acted violent, with his partner. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So, of course, I go outside in the hallway and I go to my client, hey, dude, what's going on? Like, police are looking for you or something. Like, the state attorney's got like a packet. I think, they're going to bring another charge. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, you're a piece of garbage. You stink. Like, what did I pay you for it? I'm like, huh? Like, what does that have to do? Like, I got you the deal. You got to follow the rules and the recommendations and jump through the hoops, right? Like, don't get arrested. Don't beat anyone. Don't threaten anyone. Don't do drugs. Don't get arrested. Pretty simple stuff. And this guy, like, so I go, Judge, we have a deal like it's supposed to be. And Judge goes, well, Mr. Foley, I can't make them, da-da-da. So I go, okay, so we reset it for a week. I come back, it gets reset again. Well, now we're going to do something that I've never really done is on a plea and pass, I'm going to make an argument to the court that the state's not doing the right thing because my client wasn't arrested. There were allegations from the significant other, from the partner, right? But there was no case filed, right? But they're saying, no, there's a case cut. So, like, I'm calling case filing, trying to figure it out. So they said, well, look, we're not going to do it. We're not going to agree to the contract, right? We're going to deny our part of the contract because your client didn't do, what they were supposed to do. And I go, no, I don't think that's right. Now I'm dealing with the issue of just personal injury, brother. Just personal injury, car accident, slip and fall, that stuff. I don't do any regular civil stuff. So I tell the prosecutors, like, no, like, I'm gonna file a motion before the court. So of course I tell the client, I go, hey man, I got to prepare for this. I got to do case law research. So I tell him, hey, it's going to cost X amount of dollars, and I'll do that. What do you want to do? So we get to court that day, and he hands me a check, but he doesn't hand me the check. He's kind of like holding the check. It's like one of those things like where you're about to give $1 million away. It's not $1 million. It was a couple grand. And like I go to take it from him, and he doesn't pull it. And then he starts going like, oh, I don't know if you're worth it, and just kind of being insulting and stuff. And he goes, what's your guarantee? And I'm like, look, legal services, nobody can get, I'm sorry, brother, I can't read while I'm driving. I'm telling a story. So no one can guarantee legal services, right? No one can guarantee what a future result's going to be. There's a process. I'll do my best. I'll have some arguments. I'll do some case law research. And then this guy just starts getting, insulting, belligerent. I wouldn't say violent, because I don't think that he, unless he had a weapon, I don't think he was going to, double leg me and take me down and throw me in an arm bar and, or something, or a choke and choke me out or beat me up or anything. But he was just always like aggressive tone, yell, scream, like even at me. And I'm like, hey man, like, I just need you to like take it down a couple notches, man. I'm not your enemy. I'm on your team. You paid me to be your best friend. So, and I'm not even saying it as empathetic, as emphatic. Back then, I was just like, hey man, listen, I don't want to argue with you. I'm here to help you. If you want me to help you, I'll help you. Like, very like trying to like, when you have a volatile person, you kind of, I do. I just try to like, I tippy toe a little bit, So the guy, he gets all rowdy and thing, and he goes, well, if you're not guaranteeing me, then I'm not paying you shit. That kind of thing. And I was like, all right. So I walk back in to the courtroom, and I tell the prosecutor, like, I'm sorry, like, because she heard him yelling out there. I think the bailiff started to come out. And so I walk into the courtroom, and judge is like, Mr. Foley, da-da-da. And I was like, Judge, at this point, we have irreconcilable differences, and I'm going to move to withdraw. And she's like, well, you're going to have to file a motion, and she's peeved. And then because the prosecutor has now shared with the court, hey, this is what the allegations are. Now the judge is like, hey, what are you doing? That kind of thing. So the judge kind of gets on him, really more on me, which is okay. I mean, that's what my job is. My job is to fight for you. So if I'm going to get the